The conversation from LSU football to something that brings even more excitement is LSU baseball. As the MLB draft wrapped up yesterday, saw 9 LSU players get drafted. See if I can name them all off the top of my head. Cade Anderson, Chase Shores, Ethan Fry, Anthony Ianson, Daniel Dickinson, Jacob Myers, Jared Jones, Cade Woods, Connor Ware. I think that was 9.
That was it.
I wasn't counting it, but I feel like I'm confident in myself. But you saw 9 Tigers get drafted, and then obviously shout out to the Pirates for finally getting Paul Skeen some help from the big slugger. They went back to the well, both LSU
and
the name
Jared Jones.
They've got a pitcher named Jared Jones. They've also got a pitcher that they drafted from LSU. So this was written in the stars almost. So Jared Jones ends up a Pirate. And then obviously you see 8 of the LSU high school signees get drafted as well. But there were a handful of names, Lloyd, that we did not hear called in the MLB draft, which could hold some pretty big importance looking at 2026. Am I correct?
Yeah, some familiar faces that maybe you've seen before.
Yeah.
Some people that played pivotal roles on LSU's baseball team that helped to win the national championship that will now, I guess, return.
Yeah, you saw the announcement last night from one of those names, and Zach Callen, who obviously had the game of his life. What was it, against Arkansas in the final game before the finals in the College World Series, where he goes out there, extends, looked really good, and played a massive role in the season overall as kind of a stopper/closer, and then ended up showing out in a starting position later on in the season. He makes the announcement that he's returning. Reeves also announces on Twitter last night that he's returning. I believe he'll probably get a look at that second base job defensively, because obviously the bat can play. That was the conversation all year. The guy doesn't hit 300 every year before he got to LSU on accident. And then obviously just some struggles defensively at third as Dickinson had second base locked up. And so you get those 2 announcements last night. But the biggest name, I guess, from a question mark standpoint for LSU, it started with obviously Ethan Fry getting drafted as high as he did, is where the conversation began. He goes 95 to the Astros, which shout out to the Houston Astros scouting department, because you nailed it. If you didn't draft him at 95 and he slides and he comes back to LSU, he's probably a top 15 pick the next year. But you went out and got him, and he's going to be a player for you, Houston. But that stirred the conversation up of, okay, Fry's gone, Larson's in the portal, Stanfield is in the draft. Who's going to be the third outfielder? Well, Stanfield's name ends up not being called, Lloyd. And does that give you some confidence in what your starting outfield could look like in 2026?
It's going to look awfully familiar, doesn't it?
A little similar, right? Only your everyday starter at left field and center field, and then your platoon guy in right, who now has the job all to himself, and Jake Brown. An outfield that consists of Derek Curiel in year 2.
Pretty good.
Chris Stanfield, which you saw the improvements offensively he made just in 1 year at LSU, going in his second year at LSU, his senior season, and then Jake Brown going into his money year. That's the best unit in college baseball.
Yeah, without really looking around the country and knowing what other people have. I felt like it was one of the best units in college baseball last year. Mm-hmm. And you'd only expect them to get better. And I think from a Stanfield's perspective, obviously he has to be disappointed. He put together a phenomenal year.
Right.
Was somebody that, if given the opportunity to go, I would not have blamed him for leaving and starting his professional baseball career, because really, when you look at it, what more can I do?
Right.
You upped your average almost 15 points. You played every day. You played every day center field.
Yes.
Clutch. Obviously, the speed plays, the defense plays, the bat was improved upon tremendously. And so I think he was probably maybe I do get a call because of what I've done. And there might be somebody that sees me and go, this is how I should be utilized even more. I don't know what you would do differently if you're LSU that would have made him more of a palatable draft pick.
That means you're everyday center fielder.
Yeah, I mean, and if anything, he's going to come back and be put in the same spot. Like, he'll probably bat 9 again. But even bigger than what he did on the field, I think this is huge for the off the field. Like, because you saw the turnover from 23 to 24 where it felt you looked around, it's like nobody's here.
Right.
And now you have people that have played pivotal roles the last 2 years that are all returning. Stanfield being a one-year guy, but somebody that clearly changed the way or changed the dynamic of the locker room with just his attitude. He was, some player of the year for
he got the the Tony Gwynn Community Award.
Community Award. So, and everybody talks about Chris Stanfield the way he lights up a room whenever he walks into it. Losing guys like that stings.
Yes,
it hurts to look around and not have some of those glue guys, some of the camaraderie guys that are like, oh hell yeah, Stanfield's back. Like, that's massive. And then you have Eddie Yaman, another one of those guys that didn't even get to play, that had 13 homers, batted over 300, and didn't even pick up a bat for LSU. He gets a chance to play now. And so there's if you go down the list, I had to kind of do this because I'm in the Omaha Express group chat.
Right.
That was getting a little we're losing everybody. Who's the recruits that are coming in? Oh, we didn't get any of those either. I was like, boys, think about the finite amount of room that there was left. You have returning Jake Brown, Derek Curiel, Stephen Milam, John Pearson, Cade Arambidi, Tanner Reeves, Eddie Yaman. Now throw Chris Stanfield on that list. Those are all just position players. Now when you look at pitching, William Schmidt.
This is the kicker right here.
Maverick Rizzi, Kason Evans, Cooper Williams, Gavin Guidry, Zach Cowan, Jaden Newt. And the biggest name on this list I don't think people have mentioned, just because he can't go anywhere and you didn't get to see it, Devin Sheeran.
Right.
That is arm on arm on arm on arm. And
on top of the guys they brought in from the portal.
I was about to say, and they added 3 more pitchers from the portal.
Right.
So they're going to throw the shit out of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you saw the model at which they won last season. Dominant pitching, stellar defense, and capitalizing on mistakes, especially from an offensive standpoint. The team is constructed to do the same exact thing.
Yeah. I know people are going to look through this lineup and go, where's your guy with over 20 homers? LSU proved you didn't really need that last year. I mean, Jared Jones was a great thing to have in the lineup, and he did have some immense moments with home runs and was able to get you out to extended leads. But LSU also went through stretches where Jared Jones didn't play well.
Right. And
they were still able to win baseball games. We talked about it all year.
Right.
It's like, Jared Jones, you can calm down, brother. You don't have to carry this team.
Yes, we're not on your back again.
And so I do understand the concern of losing Ethan Fry and Jared Jones as your
Luis
two,
Hernandez.
Luis Hernandez. But in terms of just sheer power,
right?
Those are your two guys that you if you tread very carefully whenever you're pitching to these guys, they could change the scoreboard with the swing.
Right.
But I do think that you'll have more consistency throughout the lineup when it comes to the homers. Again, I would see Curiel going for 10. Double-digit homer guys in this lineup: Brown, Curiel, Milam, Pearson, Aaron Beatty, Reeves.
Right. Well, and to me, Andrew Messina in the chat says, not much pop in that lineup for next season. I agree, but I'm John Pearson, there is some pop in that bat.
He'll hit over 15.
And then the guys they've brought in from the portal, Seth Dardar hit 13 at Kansas State last year. I'm not saying he's going to hit 13 again at LSU, but there's pop in that bat. Braden Simpson from High Point, the transfer to LSU.
Hit 22.
There's pop in that bat too. So there is some pop in some of the bats that are going to be joining LSU, but obviously you do not have, like Lloyd said, Ethan Fry and Jared Jones, who are going to be the guys that instill fear in the pitchers that are on the mound.
But if you have 7 or 8 guys hit over 10 home runs, that's
right. Well, and if you continue to have the pitching that you're expecting to have, you don't need 28 bombs from Jared Jones and 23 from Tommy White. Or, you don't need these 20 home run guys if you have Kason Evans and Zach Cowan and William Schmidt and Devin Sheeran just shoving the baseball. And the guys like Danny Lockenmeyer that you're bringing in, these guys that can pitch, and you continue to play defense.
Yeah, defense isn't going to – I don't think defense will take – well, it will take a step back. Because no Braswell, no Dickinson.
Yes.
But outfield defense will be fine. And then Reeves goes back to, if he plays second, goes back to his natural position.
Milam is still the best shortstop in the country.
Yep. Pearson will be, for some, we'll look at that as a project. I firmly believe in his ability to be an athlete and be able to play third base. If you haven't seen the 8th grade highlights in football, he's tracking things down. Like he can move and he can catch. Like he'll be able to play the position.
Or if it's Dardar or Simpson, that play one of the some of the
somebody's gonna.
There's some options.
They're all going to play.
Yes,
it'll be a lot like, and I think that's the formula that Jay is going with. And is it dangerous? Yes, because you have to have not only and this is where Jay consistently says, I'm recruiting not just the player but the person.
Right.
You have to recruit the person if you're going to come into a situation where you don't know you're going to be playing every day, but then you also are sold on the vision of you're making an impact.
Right.
This is how baseball games are won. And if you can get people that believe that, the person that believes that, then you can have a sustainable model of having 11 guys that can play for 9 spots.
Right. Well, I mean, you saw Seth Dardar sit right here and talk about it. He was picking between entering the workforce as an engineer or playing baseball at LSU. I don't think he's overly worried about if he doesn't get that starting third base spot or if he has to platoon or DH or whatever. And he said, what position does he play, Lloyd? He said, what, left batter's box?
Left-handed batter's box.
I'll
be able to swing it.
Yeah. And he said he was running into the wall trying to prove his coach at Kansas State that he could play in the outfield just to give him a spot.
Right.
He ran into the wall at practice, and coach said, don't ever go back out there.
He was trying to rob homers at BP. He's like, I came down with it.
Right.
He's like, quit.
Stop.
I need you to play.
Yes.
He's like, I'm just trying to let you know I can flash the leather out here. But it's the same guy that was actively avoiding phone calls, so waiting for the LSU call.
Accidentally talked to TCU.
Yeah, because he just got a DM from LSU, and he's like, oh, this must be the number.
Nope.
Not. And then LSU calls while he's talking at TCU. He's like, oh, brother.
Josh Jordan's like, hey, buddy, answer the phone.
Answer the phone.
Don't decline my call again. P-Dub asks, do you think Bear is 100% gone, Lloyd?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could make the argument to come back and make NIL money, which he would, but he has no leverage to get drafted next year if he does that. What more can he show? You've seen the power numbers. He could maybe not have the slump he had again if he came back.
Well, he's just going to get attacked.
But it's just going to do the same thing. It could look eerily similar to last year. Subtract the leverage of being able to come back. Maybe he goes undrafted. Like, you got drafted to a program or to a franchise. Make the most of it. I don't think Bear returns. Bada Bing, Bada Boom says, I don't think Stanfield will come back. Which I don't see why Stanfield wouldn't.
Yeah. What?
He didn't get drafted.
So you think he signs a free agent deal and just rolls the dice? I mean, that's clearly a possibility.
Right. It's not set in stone for Stanny to come back. But
if it was a question before the draft and then he doesn't get drafted,
right,
that would lead you to an answer, or at least more of a probable than not of an answer.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think Stanny was a talking point prior to the draft. Like Lloyd said, will he go to the draft at all? He ends up going undrafted. I think he would make more money at LSU than as an undrafted free agent. And so, in your mind, if you didn't, like, it's the kind of similar to the Bear situation, besides other than the fact that Bear got drafted, he didn't. Stanfield loses his leverage, but he didn't get drafted with the leverage. So why not just go back to LSU, make the NIL money, and then see what happens the next year, sign that undrafted